Good afternoon, and welcome to the webinar on international business research. My name is Hiromi Kubo, Fresno State librarian and business and economics librarian, excuse me. The purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to some of the most valuable library resources and other resources that will help you locate information about the international businesses, country profiles, global markets, and other business-related international data. If you have any questions about the resources presented today, please go on the chat anytime during the webinar and let me know, or feel free to email me after the webinar. My email address is hkubo@csufresno.edu. So when establishing a business in other countries or with companies in other countries, the first step you would want to take will be to conduct substantial research about your target countries to find whether your business would be feasible and what risks and challenges that you potentially encounter in doing business in or with the countries. In addition, knowing potential differences in business cultures, protocols, etiquette, and overall business practices in advance can critically impact your business to run smoothly. For example, while many countries' fiscal year is same as a calendar year, some countries such as Canada, Japan, India, and Hong Kong start their fiscal year on April 1st and close it on March 31st. So the resources we are going to go over today focus on international data, of course, and they provide at least some top level of country data and other information about countries. However, many other business information resources also include some range of international business coverage, so don't overlook those as well. So let's move on to the actual resources. Let me start from our library's homepage to show you the resources that are very helpful for finding information about international businesses. First of all, I'd like you to take a look at the Library Research Guide on International Business, which is located under the research section within the library's homepage, Guide and Tutorials, and then Research Guides. Select Business from the page, and then select International Business Research Guide. Right? The first place I'd like to show you is Country Information section. By the way, this research guide and all research guides listed in the library's homepage are free and the open access, so you don't need to be a Fresno State student or faculty. So you can just go to the library's homepage and then proceed that steps. The first thing I'd like to show you to find particularly countries information or comprehensive country profile reports is listed from in the Business Source Premier database. Click on that. This database is a very comprehensive database for finding almost all types of business-related information, starting from news articles, trade magazine articles, to scholarly and peer-reviewed articles, and reports and data. For a country report, simply type in the country's name in the search box, such as Spain as an example. And here is a small trick. I would change the optional search function to GE or geographic terms. This way, the database recognizes Spain as a country's name, not as a part of the company's name or other things. So we have over 25,000 articles or reports and others. From here, what I would do is to specify the source type using the source type section. Click on show more, and then select country reports only. Now, all of the listed reports are country reports and specifically on Spain. The very first one, let's take a look at the very first one. It's from the OECD's economic surveys. This is a report specifically focusing on the economic development in Spain. And as you see, it's pretty updated information listed here. This report was published in March 2017. So let me scroll down to the depth table of content. So the analysis of the economy and economic development in this country are covered in this report. And let's see, let me go down to a little more. Yeah, starting from the executive summary page or the overview of this entire report with graphs, charts, and statistical data listed. So again, this report is over 100-page long, very comprehensive report about the economic development and the business investment related information in Spain. Let's go back to the results page and let's look at one more report. The second one is, let me see, this report was created by a different company or a different organization. It's called MarketLine. And the focus of this report is rather business oriented and from political, economic, social, technical, and legal and environmental structure in Spain. Another good comprehensive report about the country, but particularly emphasizing in the business activities. What I really like with this MarketLine's report is it always comes with the risk analysis from different perspectives, like political risks, economic risks, technical risks, and others. Because risk analysis is a significantly important part of the business analysis. So again, this report also goes on to like about 100 pages. So I don't go too much into it, this report, but this is a great one. Okay, go back. Or instead of the countries profiles, if you're more interested in the industry information or market information within a country, this case Spain, then let's go back to the source type section and choose industry profiles or market research reports instead of country reports. And then update your search. Now what we see here are reports, but specifically on industry and specific industries and market information. Let's take a look at one of the industry profiles for example. Right. So what this industry report covers is market value, forecast, volume, and segmentation, and other the competitors information. Let's go down a little bit. And always comes with the data and charts. Okay. Also, as I mentioned earlier, this database is pretty good for finding trade publications, news articles, and academic research as well. So depending on what types of information resources or information itself you are looking for, change the source types and then get the update your results and get the information from this database. Again, this database is called Business Source Premier. Some university libraries and public libraries as well have a database called Business Source Complete, which is an upgraded version of the Business Source Premier. So the contents is same or even more information in that complete database, just for your information. Right. Coming back to the research guide, if you want to find just data, raw data or data source, and want to compare those statistical data between countries, then the CIA World Factbook, which is the government webpage, is one of the best places to do so. Let's take a look. So this is a CIA World Factbook, and you can just find it using Google or any other search engines, typing in CIA World Factbook. Simply choose the country you are interested in, take a look. So let's say I will stick to Spain. So here you go. And then let me expand all of the information. Let me close first. So the categories of the information is like geographical information, people and society, information about the government, economy, energy, communications, transportation, military security, and transnational issues. But when we open it up, as you see, there are data or numbers, plus a brief description of each individual sections, most of the sections. By the way, let me see. The fiscal years, for instance, when you click on that section here, now we see the list of all the countries and regions in the world and the list of the fiscal years here. So this is another way to find the information and compare information about multiple countries. Okay, this is again CIA World Factbook. Now we are moving on to more in-depth business-related information within a target country or countries. And they are listed under Doing Business in section. There are multiple resources that are pretty helpful for finding business-related, international business-related information, such as export.gov's country commercial guides, very good website, or HLB International's Doing Business in website, or World Bank's website. Those are pretty good. But the Global Edge website, this is my favorite, and I think this is one of the most comprehensive websites for all types of data and information of international business and trade. So let's take a look. Right. As you see, the website is very friendly, user-friendly, and easy to find information here. So, and again, this is a collection of many data sets. So to find the target information or the information you want to find, I usually use these tags here or the sections. But particularly for finding a business-related information in a specific country or countries, the Global Insights section would be the best place to find such information. Simply select by country or by trade block or classification, or maybe industry and others. But let's go to the by country section. From here, and select the countries from the map, or use the list of the countries here. Let's see, this time I would choose Colombia as an example. It gives us an introduction of, or the overview, brief overview of this country. And then country comparator or country ranking section gives us a comparison of this country with other countries in terms of business and trade-related information. For instance, let's take a look at country ranking section very quickly. Current account balance. You can change it to different categories, such as trade and commercial service export or merchandise, say import. Right? So what we see is the chart by different countries here. Chile. As well as a map with the note saying that the volume of the current US dollars of the for importing merchandise now. Yeah, it's here. But let's go back to the front page. What is really helpful I found in this website is Discrete Links. These are all other websites, but very extremely helpful websites that contain information about a specific country's business and trade related activities. For instance, the country commercial guide is the US export.gov's webpage. This website gives us very good overview of the country's market and trade and other related information, as you see. And the information is very updated. There are many other sections, political and economic environment or others, maybe. Let's take a look at investment climate. Okay, okay, that's good. Let's take a look at trade barriers in Colombia. And it talks about what barriers or challenges you might encounter when you are doing business in this country. Those information is listed here or described and discussed here. Going back to the Global Edge website, World Bank's Doing Business Indicator is another great page. let's take a look. Right. So with the basic information about this country, it gives us the indicator or performance, business-related performance of this country, as well as such as, like, let's click on the starting business, telling us how many procedures you would generally need to take when you are to start a business in Colombia, or how many days usually it would take to establish your business in Colombia. With those information, as well as the gender barrier or gender differences. As you know, some countries, depending on your gender or the business owner's gender, the requirement could be different, or it could take longer or shorter time. So those kind of information you will find in this website. Also, for some countries, not all of the countries, but like Colombia, they have a subsection for major cities in this country and give us the same the information with some of those categories, like starting business and registration of the company types of information. So this is World Bank's Doing Business webpage. BBC's country profile is a little bit different ones. It's more of general countries information from and with the emphasis in the media coverage. Then country travel information from the US Department of State is, as you see, it's a more general information for people who are traveling in that country, but that's also could be very helpful for business owners. So let's see. Maybe let's just quickly take a look. I really like the section for the alerts and warnings section that I strongly recommend anyone when they are visiting the country and go take a look at this page and to see if there's any travel warning or alerts are there before going. Or you can enroll in the program, the email program that sends you an email whenever the alerts or warning come up. Going back and then scrolling down a little bit. A few more sources, two more sources are listed. CIA World Factbook that we've already seen, and also World Electric Guide. Let's quickly take a look. So this is simply giving us the information about different electrical systems in different countries. But again, this will be a helpful information for traveling to this country. And the website is done by the Export Bureau. This is not a government webpage. This is like a regular web page, but this web page gives us the list of manufacturers in the world, depending on the different sections. So, for instance, agriculture. Let's see, agriculture, chemicals, and it lists up the available companies, manufacturers of the world that are dealing with that specific industry sections with the contact information. Right. Talking of the companies directories, the Global Edge has a great section for finding companies information too in the world, which is listed under Reference Desk section and Global Resource Directory. Right. there are multiple sections for finding resources and directories, but particularly the one I like is under trade. There is a company directories section. Let's take a look. Right. So, and let's say like Australian suppliers this directory, excuse me. Gives us a list of the suppliers, companies directory, and it is by the list is created and maintained by the Australian government. Let's try search. Let's say I'm interested in finding a suppliers in Australia that deals with food and industry. Okay, and submit. So 35 companies are listed here. Let's see, Victorian Chemical Company, for instance. So what does it do? It gives us fruit drying oil. Now I see. So anyway, so those kind of actual suppliers information and contact information will be covered, is covered in this page. Right. Well, the website of Global Edge covers a lot more data and data sets and the information, but I'd like you to take a look and then explore the information here. Any questions so far about the resources we looked at? Right. Then let me go back to the research guide. And then let's see. I'd like to show you a few more websites or data sets from the World Bank. We've already seen the website Doing Business in and the World Bank group, but World Bank provides pretty good other business-related and particularly international business-related information and data sets. The first one I want to show you is called Enterprise Surveys and What Businesses Experience. This is a collection of interviews and survey results the World Bank conducted among business owners and top managers who are doing business in a specific country. So let's see. Any country would be fine. But let's choose some different countries. How about Indonesia? All right. So as you see, this data is from the based on the survey result of the over 1,000 companies, firms run in Indonesia. Okay? And it gives us like some data and also obstacles for international businesses. And down here, it gives us more specific topics or specific questions or specific items about like obstacles, opportunities, and other items in terms of the doing business in Indonesia, such as bravery or crime-related information, gender-related information, technology and infrastructure, and trade information in general. And then it's always have the target countries the data with the region's information and all other countries' information too. So this is called Enterprise Surveys of World Bank. In addition, Global Consumption Database of the World Bank is very helpful for finding information or data about household consumption. Right. Let's select, let me see, maybe India this time. It's coming up that with the key indicator or the key data about this country, the data information, it's coming up now, but the consumption focused information or data are listed here. So for instance, this pie chart shows what the percentage or ratio of the spending or consumption of average household. So for overall, the consumption of for food and beverages are pretty high, 44%. But if the household the consumption is lowest or lower or low and the middle and high, depending on what's the consumption segment, then the ratio of spending for food and beverage or transportation or education differ. Obviously, the lowest household in average spend more than half of the household consumption for food and beverage, while the high consumption household spend more on housing or transportation. Anyway, so and further detailed information is listed in the chart down here. Also, let me see. Yeah. We could switch to different segment or different sectors, or we could actually look at, let me see. No, not this one, excuse me, here. India is such a huge country, so the World Bank gives us a little more details of this information depending on the area or city or region of this country. So let's say Delhi instead of the entire India. We get the information or data on the same categories, but specifically about this area of Delhi. Taking a little bit time, but all right, here it is. So again, this is called the Global Consumption Database of the World Bank. Let's go back to the research guide, maybe one more section under the World Bank group, World Development Indicators. These data sets used to be a fee-based, but now it's free, open to the public, and accessible for free. So it gives us a variety of different sections of the segments of the data and gives us individual detailed data about the countries, particularly developing countries in the world. Right? Any questions? Nope. All right, then let's move on to the database actually under industries and companies. So the websites and the databases that we've already seen gave us information based on the country or region of the world. But the database that, some of the databases that I'm going to show you now is more about the industry or segment, industry sectors specific information. And the one I'd like to show you is called IBIS World. This is a subscription-based database providing the in-depth industry reports over 1,200 different industries. And for international business information, this database provides information or reports, I should say, on Chinese industries and Australian industry and global industries in general. So for instance, let's take a look at the list of the reports the database offers regarding Chinese industries. So these are the reports that we found, the specific industries in China. Let's see, let's pick one to take a look as an example. Okay, about building construction in China. The first page is always the introduction and overview of this entire report and giving us the definition of the industry, economic drivers, demands, and supply industries and related industries, key players or major companies, major activities, and let me see, and the grocery and industry jargon. And then industry performance section gives us brief description or analysis of the what's happening within this industry in China, with revenues information. Industry outlook covers a forecast of this industry. And then products and markets gives the major products and services, market demand, major market, and some other information. Competitive landscape gives us how hard or easy to get into this industry as a new business owner. Other information. Major competitors or key players within this industry are listed, and those companies' analysis are also listed here under the major companies section. Operations information is, and then key statistics follow. As you see, this is pretty comprehensive report about a specific industry and very helpful when you are considering starting a business within this industry in China, for example.
I have a question from Bernadette. She was wondering if you can show how you got to that report again.
Yeah, sure. Which report would it be?
Which I think it was just the one you had shown.
Okay. So we got a question about to get to this report. Let me show you. So from my research guide on international business, the IBIS World database is listed under Industries and Companies section. IBIS World. And then go to this database. Or from the library's homepage, our library's homepage, this database is listed under Databases A to Z list. Go to I section for IBIS World. By the way, the same way the other database I showed at the beginning of this session, Business Source Premier is also listed, of course, under the A to Z list, under B. And all of the databases that our library subscribes to are listed in this page.
We had another question
from
Wayne. He asked, how can I find out the % depletion of the California Central Valley Aquifer since 1030? Is there any way he can find out that kind of information through research?
Just a second. Let's see. Since 1030?
It's probably 1930.
1930, okay, yeah. That's Gary water. Percentage of the content is not useful because bringing contamination. Good question. It's a little bit, a little too specific, I would say, for the library databases or the websites that I've shown. Since the websites I've shown and we went through, went over more nationwide or even countrywide information. So let me explore other information sources, and then I'd like to get back to the person. Thank you. Any other questions? Right. All right. So once again, there are many other information resources listed under the International Business Research Guide of the Fresno State Library. So please go ahead and explore other information resources as well. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Particularly the information resources that listed under country information, that we went over, but there are some more. And trade agencies section, statistics section, and then industries and companies section are very helpful, I think, for finding information and data regarding international business. Right. Well, and if you have any questions again after this webinar, please feel free to email me and let me know. My email address is again hkubo@csu.edu. And also, let me go. And the Fresno State Library webpage is, as well as the International Business Research Guide link is listed here as well. Thank you again for joining our webinar today, and have a wonderful weekend.